So we're going to just go on ahead and jump into it.
God bless you all. God bless you all. And I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. From the beginning, the Democrats spied on my campaign. Remember that? They attacked me with an onslaught of fraudulent investigations. Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Impeachment hoax number one. Impeachment hoax number two. The illegal and unconstitutional raid on Mar-a-Lago, right here. The lying to the FISA courts, the FBI and DOJ relentlessly pursuing Republicans, the unconstitutional changes to election laws by not getting approvals from state legislators, the millions of votes illegally stuffed into ballot boxes and all caught on government cameras. And just recently, the FBI and DOJ in collusion with Twitter and Facebook in order not to say anything bad about the Hunter Biden laptop from hell, which exposes the Biden family as criminals and which, according to the pollsters, would have made a 17-point difference in the election result. And we needed a lot less than that, like about 16.9. It would have been in our favor.
Before we get started, welcome everybody to Are You Up? We're just going to look and listen to whatever this guy's going
And
to
we
say. And
remember
so far,
the
he's only
51
saying stuff that he's been
intelligence
saying since
agents
2020. So
who said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. It didn't exist. It was Russian disinformation. Remember that? And that was all confirmed strongly by the FBI when they all knew that it wasn't Russian disinformation. And so much more. Our elections were like those of a third world country. And now this massive election interference at a scale never seen before in our country.
Not this beneath the
Beginning with
minimum
the radical left, George Soros-backed prosecutor Alvin Bragg of New York, who campaigned on the fact that he would get President Trump. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. This is a guy campaigning. You want to get President Trump at any cost, and this before he knew anything about me, didn't know a thing about me. He was campaigning. As it turns out, virtually everybody that has looked at this case, including rhinos and even
anytime that they try to find wrongdoing on
no
his behalf,
crime,
it's a witch hunt.
And that it should never have been brought. Never have been brought. Ever again. Even people that aren't big fans have said it. They said this is not the right thing to do. It's an insult to our country, as the world is already laughing at us for so many other reasons, like our open borders, our incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we left behind American citizens,
from
$85 billion
2020.
worth of the best military equipment in the world.
In 3 years. Come on with something new.
Young lives, and far too many to mention that are so badly hurt with the loss of arms and legs and facial obliteration. The most embarrassing time in our country's history, in my opinion. Then our give up on energy independence and even energy dominant. We're going to be dominant within 6 months, more than any other nation ×2. We had this all just 3 years ago. Our raging crime statistics, if you look in Democrat-run cities, numbers the likes of which we have never seen before. The open threats by various countries of the use of nuclear weapons, something never mentioned or discussed by outside nations during the Trump administration, and which could very well lead under the Biden administration's leadership to an all-out nuclear World War III. Can happen. We're not very far away from it, believe it or not. an economy that has been crippled by the biggest inflation we have seen in more than 60 years, and a military that I used to defeat ISIS in 4 weeks. They said it would take 4 years. 4 weeks. To kill al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, that has now gone woke at the top levels by trying to indoctrinate everyone down to the lowest ranking patriot. But now they have really stepped up their efforts by indicting the 45th president of the United States, who received 75 million votes, which is more than any sitting president in the history of our country.
This man literally is not saying anything different than.
And in the wings, they've got a local racist Democrat district attorney in Atlanta who is doing everything in her power to indict me over an absolutely perfect phone call, even more perfect.
Let him have it, Parker. That's about as close as he's going to get to that word.
Remember, I kept saying that's a perfect call. This one was more perfect. Nobody said, sir, you shouldn't say that. Many people on the phone were hung up in disgust because of something I inappropriately said, because nothing was said wrong. In fact, at the end of the call, we agreed to continue our conversation about election fraud, specifically in Georgia, at a later time. Many people on the phone, including lots of lawyers, nobody found anything wrong with that perfect call until a book promotion tour many months later. All of a sudden they say, I remember Trump making a call. Let's look at that. This fake case was brought only to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election, and it should be dropped immediately.
And I'm with you, Parker. All this stuff that he could have said while he was in New
radical
York.
Left lunatic known as a bomb thrower.
He's not saying it now.
Hundreds of
he didn't say it then. You can say it now because he's in front of his people.
Over the boxes hoax. The boxes hoax, as we call it. Just so everyone knows,
I just trying to figure out who the hell we is.
Presidential Records Act, which was designed and approved by Congress long ago just for this reason. Under the Act, I'm supposed to negotiate with NARA, the National Archives and Records Administration, which as of this date is a radical left troublemaking organization that red flags the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights as dangerous and triggering. Can you imagine? This is what we have to deal with. But there is no criminality under the Presidential Records Act. That is not what it's all about. We were negotiating in very good faith, proper way, in order to return some or all of the documents that I openly and in very plain sight brought with me to Mar-a-Lago from our beautiful White House, just as virtually every other president has done in the past. When FBI and DOJ officials with
Mickey.
Here,
the only thing he's saying is
that
the indictment should be dropped.
The very secure storage room in which they were locked. The FBI's sole request in writing was, could you please put another lock on the door? We immediately complied. A lot different than the Biden situation, isn't it? The next thing I know, we were raided by many gun-toting FBI agents
on the door
who took whatever they wanted, including my passports and medical records.
Can you please put another lock on that?
Everybody was in shock. Nobody had ever heard of such a raid before. Can't even believe it. Who would think that that could happen today? I immediately thought of the Fourth Amendment that protects against unreasonable search and seizure. But they did it anyway because our justice system has become lawless. They're using it now, in addition to everything else, to win elections. Apparently, they're not looking at me through.
It's amazing how lawless this country is, only to you.
They came up with a new one. This is a new one. And they're looking at me through the Espionage Act. Think of that. How does that sound? Of 1917, where the penalty is death. Even though that has absolutely nothing to do with openly taking boxes of documents and mostly clothing and other things to my home, which President Obama has done, the Bushes have done, Jimmy Carter's done, Ronald Reagan has done. Everybody's done. In fact, Hillary Clinton got rid of 33,000 emails, and that was okay. But nobody's done it like Joe Biden. This lunatic special prosecutor named Jack Smith, I wonder what it was prior to a change.
And over, and
Others of
over,
his ilk
and
say
over.
he's even worse than they are. Is only looking at Trump, yet Joe Biden took massive amounts more documents. Even removed many boxes to Chinatown.
I'm watching the NBC News
Believe that?
YouTube channel, and they just cut
Spent
away
$10
from the
million
speech and
for
said,
China.
okay, he's now gone off into unrelated
Banking on
things, so I'm no longer
wondrous
relevant to
expertise.
so we are
And
cutting
had
away.
others stored in unsecured offices in Pennsylvania and strewn all over his
Honestly,
garage floor where his now
I'm going to give him
famous
about
are.
3 minutes, and I'm about to do the same thing, Park. I hate that I'm wasting your time, but he's saying the same stuff he's always been saying. Nothing
That's okay.
new.
Perhaps most importantly, he has 1,850 boxes in Delaware, which he is refusing to give up. But isn't that real obstruction? It's obstruction. As president, I have the right to declassify documents, and the process is automatic. If I take them with me, it's automatic, declassify. Biden was vice president. He had absolutely no right to declassify as vice president. He doesn't come under the non-criminal Presidential Records Act. He comes under the very criminal Federal Records Act, unfortunately for him, but it's not going to matter because they don't follow the law, which has very severe penalties. He had classified documents that he took while he was a senator, which is absolutely inexcusable. And other senators
That he called and told them where it was at and immediately turned over to
he's
them.
not being harassed and hounded like the people who work for me are. In fact, they seem to have forgotten about his documents entirely. So many thousands and thousands. It's okay with him.
Parker, he's not saying
They like to say that
anything
I'm
new.
obstructing, which I'm not.
I literally think he
Because I
thinks
was
this is a
working
rally
under
again.
Nara very nicely until the raid on my
This
home.
dude is under indictment and
Right,
he's doing a
obstructing
rally.
by making it impossible to get the 1,850 boxes or explain why many documents were located in Chinatown. Can't explain it. Why were they in Chinatown? I don't know. Lastly, I'm under investigation. This time a civil investigation by another racist in reverse who also campaigned on, I will get Trump. I will get him.
Now we're going to get to it.
This was her campaign. Never ran for office. I will get him. Her name is Letitia James. And she proclaimed while campaigning, quote, I look forward to going into the office of the Attorney General every single day, suing him, and then going home. Before she knew me. She announced, what is fueling my soul right now is Trump. And that she had her eyes on Trump Tower. Those eyes are focused on Trump Tower. Didn't know the young lady. She even assured her supporters in an election promise that we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally. And then she claimed that I was an illegitimate president. Think of it. With all we did on energy, with all we did on the military, taxes, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history, right to try, people able to get drugs now that aren't approved. Hopefully we don't have that problem. Letitia James vowed to use every area of the law to, quote, investigate President Trump and his business transactions. Those transactions are going to be investigated, she said. And that of her family and his family. Because we're going after his family, and we're going after them hard. This is all before entering office and all before knowing anything at all about me. But she was going to get me. This is why, along with unrelenting crime, so many people and companies are leaving New York. She said that I falsified my financial statements, but in fact, we're proving and will prove that my financial statements were substantially more than we submitted, not less. And in all cases, have a strong disclaimer clause in them, which tells the institutions that may look at that if they want to, not to rely on the statement. But they've got a problem with their case because, number one, I'm very underleveraged. They can't believe it. All the stuff they read and gave, and have very little debt relative to the value of assets. And importantly, not one bank has lost even $1. She was investigating me to save banks. They have very good lawyers. But they didn't lose $1 with us during this period of time. In fact, the banks we're talking about made almost $200 million off Donald Trump, and they liked me very much. We never missed a payment, never got a default notice, had a great relationship with all of them. I don't need banks. I have a lot of cash. Built a great
I don't know how
business
true
with my
that
family.
is. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of attorneys that saying that you can miss a lot of payments. There you go. All right. What is this with him and not being able to drink water?
I have another son here who's done a great job. And Ivanka and Barron will be great someday. He's tall, and he's smart. But I have a great family, and they've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much. They've done good. So she's suing me over banks that weren't defrauded, when she should be focused on violent crime that's driving people out of the state. This is a persecution, not an investigation. She's put our family through hell. It's cost hundreds of millions of dollars to defend, but our heads are held very, very high. They want to settle the case, but I want no part of that. So here we are now, where we were today, in a city that was so great just 4 or 5 years ago. But now we're there, spend time there today, as you possibly read, with a local failed district attorney charging a former president of the United States for the first time in history on a basis that every single pundit and legal analyst said, there is no case, there's no case. They kept saying, there's no case.
The grand jury kind of disagree on that, but
it's far worse than that.
Okay.
I knew there was no case. That's why last week he delayed for a month and then immediately took that back and threw this ridiculous indictment together. Came out today, everybody said, this is not really an indictment, there's nothing here. My lawyers came to me and they said, there's nothing here, they're not even saying what you did.
And Mickey, I would totally agree with you, but
legally leaked massive amounts of grand
he's
jury.
not doing anything brand new or nothing that he has said up until he
For
talked
which he
about
should
this
be
case.
prosecuted.
He said anything
Or
brand
at
new.
a minimum, he should resign.
He's still going back to the election was rigged speech.
Has Trump
Been 3 years
on felonies? She has since locked down her Twitter account. His chief prosecutor, who represented the Democrats and crooked Hillary Clinton, and a firm run by Chuck Schumer's brother, Robert, he quit the firm in order to go to work in the DA office in order to get Trump. Can you imagine that? Hillary Clinton's lawyer, Democrat firm. Ultimately, he quit as chief prosecutor because Bragg didn't think he had a case. Think of that same guy that brought this ridiculous thing.
This dude living rent free in Hillary Or
was
Hillary
prosecuted
Clinton
in
is living
Mar-a-Lago,
rent free in this
wrote
dude's
and
head.
published a book
Now
saying
we're
all
back
sorts
to
of privileged things,
2016.
has been very strongly reprimanded. He was reprimanded so strongly. I've never seen anything like it. That's probably the end of it. But what he did was probably very illegal. But he was very, very strongly reprimanded. Even District Attorney Bragg was furious with him. They were having a tremendous
We
fight.
would have to listen about Hillary Clinton, the
But
rigged
hope is never
election, and
lost
blah blah
because
blah
various
and blah blah blah
prosecutors
and
in
blah
the
blah
DA's
blah
office
in New
also
York, and then he'll
quit
get to
because they
Georgia,
thought President Trump was being treated very
and then
unfairly.
he'll go back to Hillary
Anyway, oh, I love
Clinton
them. I'd
and
like to
Biden's
meet them.
laptop and
I'd like to meet them.
George Soros and
The DA's office even had a web page. Meet the team of executives who have done this to President Trump. That was the title. Isn't that nice? They immediately had to take it down. Meanwhile, overall,
it's
crime
an
in New
echo in the
York was up
background.
30% last year. Much more than
Does
that.
anybody else hear echo?
With felony assaults, robberies, and burglaries all up by massive, massive numbers. Not the same place that I know, not the same place that you know. And this is where we are right now. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign and a lot of that. We recently had another trial, and the same judge told the fine man who worked for me for many, many years that if you admit your guilt, you will be in jail for 90 days. But if you don't, if we go through a trial and you're found guilty, you're going away for 10 years and maybe longer, which for a 75-year-old man with a great family really means life. What the prosecutors and judge did to that man, I will never forget, because it's right out of the old
Parker
Soviet
said it sounds
Union.
okay to him, and
They said, you say anything
I'm not
about
seeing
Trump,
any issues on my side.
and you won't even have to serve the 90 days. You'll walk free.
Maybe it was temporary, Tracy.
They say that to many of my employees. We have this Jack Smith lunatic threatening people every single day.
Violent crime has gone down year to year
They're threatening jail
since the
terms. But talk about Trump and you'll go
mid
free. This
90s,
is where we
but
are as a nation. Who would have thought?
it's a
They can't
point
be
because the
as
summertime is going to
radical as
come.
they try and be.
Crime is going to go back up
Through
because
them
there's
all.
more people out and
That's the
about,
country in
and
which we
they'll
live, however, right
move
now.
right on
USA is a
to the
mess.
crime wave of the
Our
century,
economy is
and you're going
crashing.
after
Inflation is out of
little old
control.
Trump.
Russia has joined with China. Can you believe that? Saudi Arabia has joined with Iran. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea have formed together as a menacing and destructive coalition. Would have never happened if I were your president. Would never have happened. Nor would Russia attacking Ukraine.
Four
Have happened. All
dictators,
those lives would
four
be saved. All of those
countries that have
would be
dictators
saved.
that you love so much.
Our currency is crashing and will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat, frankly, in 200 years. There will be no defeat like that.
Not true.
That will take us away from being even a great power. If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done.
That is definitely not true, but it's your speech. Run with it, dude.
Incredibly, we are now a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. And now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. We can't let that happen.
They can't do a damn thing about it.
With all of this being said, and with a very dark cloud over our beloved country, I have no doubt, nevertheless, that we
Finally done
will
more destruction in
make
2 years and love
America
has
great.
all the worst,
Thank
the
you.
worst
God
vice
bless you,
president
and
survived.
God bless America. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so yeah, enough of that crap. Okay, I was thinking, gosh, I need to go get me a booklet or a document or something just in case he does say something worthwhile, and I want to make sure that I don't misconstrue, put words in his mouth, say something out of line, whatever. The fact of the matter is this: he said this was a Trump rally. This was basically a Trump rally. Well, now he just mixed in the New York indictment. He just added that to it. And to be honest with you, he may not even added that into it. He may have already had that part of the speech already in it. I don't look at Trump rallies. I have better things to do, like sleep and go use the bathroom or whatever. I got better things to do. So I don't know if that may have that part of the New York indictment and everything may literally be a part of his Trump rallies where all he had to do was tweak a little thing now that he's been indicted. But the whole talk about the prosecutors and the law professors all around the country said there's nothing here. And so, first of all, the funny thing about it is law professors would not know what the indictment is on until right here, right now. We didn't get the indictment papers. I'm reading it right now. And to be honest with you, we still don't know. There is not enough meat and potatoes in here to say on this day. I mean, it does say on this day, this happened and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't go into great detail. It's just practically just telling you that there was a false entry on business records. There was a false entry on business records. There were false entries on business records, and so on and so forth. So that's why he may have lied on business records for 34 years, 34 times. I don't know. There's not enough here to actually go on this day he did this, and this is how we know that he did this because XYZ is not in the indictment. So him to say law professors around the country looked at this saying there is nothing here, how would they know? They don't have the indictment. We didn't get the indictment until today, unless you called every law professor around the country to survey them to say, hey, do you think there's something here? No, there's nothing here. See, all the professors around the country say there's nothing here. Number two, for you to sit there and say this is um, election, whatever. They're trying to rig the election because all of this is rigging the election on the better half. That lady, the prosecutor, was going after you and said she was going after you before you even announced that you was running for president. Before you even announced it. So how is this all of a sudden trying to get in your way of becoming president again when we didn't even know you was running for president? We would have never thought that. And silly us, we voted the man in as president. So, uh, I think he would have had a launch multiple nuclear strikes, and then maybe that would be, probably not because he. We talked about this earlier today on Tracy Carson's podcast on her YouTube channel. There are some that are coming out of the weeds who are now seeing Trump for who they are, and enough is enough. There are some people, and this is me saying it, I don't think I said it on the show. There are some people that's coming out of the weeds of Trump and MAGA and everything else saying enough is enough. We're done. There are some that's just saying, that's coming out of the weeds, but they are so deep into it right now. They're rooted with their family, they're rooted with their friends, they're rooted with their church, they're rooted with their organization, what have you. That, yeah, I may not vote for this man ever again, and I don't want to hear him no more and everything else, but I'm not willing to put myself out there to be ridiculed and outcast and mentally and physically abused or what have you, exercise and everything else, because now I realize that I see Trump for who he is, but the people that I deal with is very important to me, so I'm just going to play along. That's the middle ground. Then it's the bottom. And the bottom is, Parker, there's nothing that Trump could possibly do where they're going to say that Trump did something wrong. And even if they admit that Trump did something wrong, they're going to always go, what is them? But what is them? Or however you say that. They're always going to say, yeah, maybe he did, but well, maybe he did say that, but and it's nothing new since 2016 when it comes to Trump and his supporters. Trump could do no wrong. Everybody is after him. Blah 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 blah. And like I said, I would be more intrigued if you came up with something brand new. We can sit there and mess with Marjorie Taylor Greene all we want to. We all know she's a blittering moron anyway. We get that. She is. But at least she did come up with Mandela and Jesus. That was new. It was stupid, but at least it was new. I'll take new over the same board. See, if you're going to have a lie, try to make it a good lie or at least a new lie. You don't even come up with new lies. You're using the same lies as to, you're still talking about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton don't even talk about Hillary Clinton. You're still talking about what Hillary Clinton did and Hillary Clinton lawyer and he left out. Look at her, look at Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton didn't get indicted on anything. Hillary Clinton didn't get. At the very least, come up with something brand new. And dude, you just don't. Now, it frustrates me. It frustrates this audience, and I get that. So, Marlon, why do he keep doing it? It's really plain and simple. As long as it's working, even if, and this is backward, talking backwards, and I get it, it's backwards talking. Even if it's not working as much as it used to, it's still working on the core base of Trumpists. They are still eating this stuff up. They're still believing this. Why change something if it still works? And this still works with people, unfortunately. Because again, it doesn't matter what Trump does. It really just does it. They're going to eat it up every single time, no matter what Trump says. And he has to keep feeding it and feeding it to him 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 and feeding it to him. For one, so you don't really look at the bigger picture and see, oh, he is full of crap. And two, because that's what he wants. I mean, that's what they want. That's what they want. They want that feeling. That's what they want. So they do it. That's I think a lot of the media had the same reaction. Like, what do you even talk about after that speech? There was nothing to talk about. The man played. I don't hate the man for doing what he's doing. I don't want you to do that. I hate the man for a lot of other reasons other than that. But striking while the iron is hot, yes. He knew that he was going to come back. He knew the eyes was going to be on him. He jumped in. he jumped in while the iron is hot because he knew all eyes was going to be on him. All he had to do, all he really had to make sure, and Parker, you said it, he had to get in front of his people. He wasn't going to do this speech in New York. There was no way. He had to be in Mar-a-Lago in front of his people, so he knew whatever he was going to say, they was going to eat it up. They was going to cheer everything he was going to say. He wasn't going to get that in New York. Like, not a chance. Marjorie Taylor Greene tried it and failed miserably. She got it out, but she still failed. He's been breaking the law for years. Yeah, I get that. And that's the deal, was that he has been doing this for so long that I want people to corral their enjoyment of the indictment. Because I did say this on Tracy's show, saying that we now have justice. Tracy said what CNBC. CNBC said now we can see justice. It's the equivalent of also saying they see us now. No, they don't. And no, this isn't. Because for every good thing, and if you want to look at the indictment for every good thing, look at what Tracy said. He's been breaking the law for years. For years. And we now getting them? No. It's great. Enjoy yourself. Don't get me wrong. Because the man literally could die and never be indicted on absolutely nothing. That always have been a possibility. But no, don't count this as now we have justice, because if nothing comes of this, he can break the law again. He could be breaking the law while this indictment is going on. And chances are he probably is. Tracy, the earliest I know of this is the early 70s. That's years. And like I said, that's what I mean. We have justice now. And it took you since the 70s? Money talks. He's still talking about the 2016 because it was the only time he won. Good point. Class, what did we learn today? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing other than the only new thing that he added, because Thea said, let me know if he said something new. So the only thing new that he did add that I never heard before is they need to drop this immediately. Law professors around the country all said that there's nothing here. They need to drop it. They always been after him, and he probably New York prosecutor has always been after them. That may not have been new. Like I said, he may have said it in his rallies before, but I'm not watching a Trump rally, because now you see why, because he says the same thing over and over again. Anything else new he said? I think I'm missing one. They need to drop it. They always been after him. Nope. That was pretty much it. If y'all out there remember something new that he said, let me know in the comments. But that's all I remember him ever saying anything new. But again, Mar-a-Lago, in front of his people, why try something new? If the old is still working. Mickey Mouse does not count as a legal expert. I don't even have anything to say to that, Tracy. They're Florida and Disney are not happy with each other right now, which is funny that they wouldn't be, considered that y'all was real cool before Disney was pro-trans, and now y'all not cool with Disney. And don't get me wrong, kudos on Disney for being pro-trans. You also have been one of the most corrupt billion-dollar companies this country has ever seen. You still don't pay your employees absolutely nothing. You treat them like crap. So kudos for the pro-trans thing, but you're still crap. He called the classified documents the bots hoax. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. The bots hoax is new, so that's a new one. I never heard, and I should, because that's what they called them. That's what we call them. That's what they call them, or we call them. It doesn't about it. It's practically the same thing. Either they call it the bots hoax, or everybody calls it the bots hoax, or you call it the bots hoax, or everybody calls it the bots hoax. It means the exact same thing. Everybody should know about the bots hoax. And is he still literally going around talking about the president has the right to declassify? This is what I mean. That even when that was proven wrong, no, you can't declassify it. No, you can't look at it and declassify it. No, you can't wiggle your nose. You can't wiggle your nose like Bewitched and declassify it. No, you can't blink your eyes and declassify it like I Dream a Genie. No, you can't do that. It has been proven over and over and over and over and over that you can't do that. That's not the power of the president to just up and declassify papers. Yet, why do he keep saying it, Marlon? Because it still works. Plain and simple. Why change the script if it's working for the core base? I'm waiting for the call to Georgia to find him votes in stolen classified documents. They got proof that he went through the boxes after receiving the subpoena. That eliminates the law. Yes, Mickey, that's true. And that's absolutely true. See, it isn't the fact that it isn't the fact that he had it is, but just hear me out. It isn't the fact that he had classified documents. And like I said, hear me out, because I don't want nobody. Yeah, that is the point. I know that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they gave Trump an out. The DOJ gave him an out. They said, just return the boxes, dude. Just return the boxes. I mean, just like everything else, we'll sweep it under the rug. We don't want to mess with our former presidents, no matter how bad it looks. Just give us the boxes back and we'll be done with it. This dude not only did he gave some documents away. So listen to what I'm saying. He gave some documents back, not boxes of documents, some documents back. They went to the DOJ went to Trump's attorneys and went, hey, dude, we're still missing a lot of documents. Lawyers went to Trump. They're saying that they're missing a lot of documents. Are you sure these are all the documents that you got? Yes. So he lied to his attorney. Yes, these are all the documents I have. I've given them all the documents. I don't have any more documents anywhere. And the rest is history. No, you're lying. We're finna bust up in here. We're finna take our crap back. Boom. And you have the best attorneys in the country, maybe even in the world, Trump. So even if you wanted to use the Fourth Amendment of illegal search and seizure, it would have flown at that point. Nobody is going to go, oh, well, screw it. We really want Trump so bad that we're going to ignore the. Take my word for it. If there ever is a right that is going to be ignored by authority on people, it isn't going to be against the rich. It is going to be against people like me, against the poor, against the middle class, where it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to fight it. They're not going to eliminate any rights for rich people. Why? Because they have plenty of money and plenty of attorneys to fight it. So no, they're not going to ignore Trump. That's not how that works. He's gotten away with so much. He's grown accustomed to it. He's gotten away. He's gotten to the point where he figured he could always talk his way out of it because he has a lot of these things. Either talked his way out of it, paid his way out of it, um, threatened his way out of it, which is why he wanted to rally the troops and you need to protest because they're going to arrest me and everything else. So you need to get out there. And tens and tens of people was out there. Why? Because they remember what the January 6th looked like. And yeah, it was really good to watch on TV. They also realized that Trump ain't going to be there for me when I get arrested. So I'm with you in spirit, not in body. Somebody sell me a free Trump. I wonder, do I have the guts? Because you know I can get Foxy to make me a t-shirt. So I wonder, would I have the guts to do a Saturday Night Vibe or a Radical Truth to Power wearing a free Trump t-shirt? I don't know. I don't think I could do it. Be funny as crap. They repeatedly asked for the documents for over a year. He said F you, so they had to go to court to get a legal search and see. Yeah. But that's what I mean, Mickey. It's not like, oh, he got boxes. We're gonna ram all in there and get them boxes back. Dude, they literally said, Trump, just give it back. Just give it back. Give it back. And we won't say anything anymore. We'll just sweep it under the rug. It's not like it wasn't the first time, and he's right when he's all those presidents that did take documents home with them. You're absolutely right. And what did they do when they said, hey, you want to go ahead and bring them documents back? Sure, here you go. Archives went into their homes or wherever they was, documented everything, took them back. Done. No, this had to be the dude that's like, no, I can blink my eyes and declassify them and twinkle my toes and throw them in the air like pixie dust and boom, declassified. No, don't do that. Could I wear a free Trump t-shirt during at least one half of a show? No, a Trump for prison shirt. No, because it's simple for me. Yeah, that's simple. No, it's the I got to do the. Can I do the free Trump? I honestly don't know. I honestly think I would feel some type of way. I really do. I think I would feel some type of way because I don't want to. I don't want to. I do try to educate people on the policies and procedures and the rights and wrongs of this country, and I think doing that will give somebody like if I'm wearing a free Trump T-shirt, but then I turn around and go, "Yeah, but Trump is a piece of bubble," I think that would just like I don't think anybody would. I think anybody that's on the fence, they would take that as insulting to be doing something like that because I'll be mocking him. And trust me, I don't really have to mock Trump. All I really got to do is just tell you what Trump does. It's not mocking. Like you never heard me, oh, the orange man bad and all this. No, I don't have time for all that crap. All I really got to do to tell you how bad Trump is to tell you Trump's history. Bam. All you really got to do. You ain't even got to go any further than that. It's like he's Trump. How hard could it be? You just saw the speech. Rikers for Trump. You know, daggone well that man ain't going to jail for nothing. The only thing that, like that lady said, I wanted to leave her video up. The only thing that I would enjoy. Oh man, let me see if I can find that video. No, because I can't name those videos. That's why. Okay. So, like, one of the Foxy videos is when I had that Trump goes in and he goes into New York on an indictment, and as soon as he comes out, he now has to go to. He's arrested and moved to Georgia because they done indicted him, and he goes into arraignment and he gets out, and as soon as he gets out, the federal comes down and indict him on everything, and that was the only great outcome. I'll be like, ooh, that's great. I don't think the federal government's going to get them on much to do about nothing. I don't, because it's harder for federal than state to prove things. So at the very least, you know, it's not going to be anytime soon. State, the burden is a little lower, not by much, but it is a little lower, and Georgia would be up next up the bat. So we'll see. And Tracy had it correct. It's really, really hard for him to sit there and say, no, I wasn't interfering in voter fraud or anything like that. Where we literally have your video saying exactly that. Find me the votes. Find me the votes. Find me the votes. So, send them Alcatraz. Don't you have to reopen Alcatraz to send them? If you're gonna send them, just send them. Okay, you're right. Semantics. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here because I thought nothing new came at all. Nothing brand new. He's not gonna say anything brand new. It's gonna be the same speech. It's gonna be the same lies, whatever you have it. So we will be back this weekend off a 1 week hiatus. Saturday Night Vibe will be going on this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Radical Truth to Power is back this week at 8 p.m. this Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is it for tonight. I will see you when I see you. Peace. Oh, Theus is not here. Ted Cruz!